What's up, beautiful people? This is Nate here.
It's Kev.
2/3 of the super group that is GamesMusicLyfe. We're back today with a review for this Lupe Fiasco. Highly anticipated.
Highly anticipated, man.
Lupe Fiasco, Drogas Light
Yeah.
review today. All right, man. So going into it, this is Lupe's sixth studio album. This album is part of a trilogy, actually. It's going to be, this is the first part of it. The last two albums are going to be called Drogas and Skulls.
There we
are going to
go.
be the other two. So this is going to be a trilogy for Lupe. He's been gone for a while, man. And we were just talking before about, Lupe's Twitter rants he goes on. So I don't know how he reviewed his own album, as Kev was telling me, and is definitely getting a little bit of critical acclaim as far as what he thought. But let's get into it, man. All right, man. So starting it off, Dopamine Lit, the intro. What'd you think, Kev?
Man, with it, I love the energy on this track, man. It comes through with the heavy bass, trap snare, kicks this album off right, or, kind of sets you for the mood of this album on here.
Okay.
With it, man, I love one of the main keys of this song, or, the beginning part that really stood out to me is when he's just going, drogas, 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 trap,
Yes.
trap, trap,
Yeah.
drogas, drogas, drogas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just kind of letting you know
Uh-huh.
what you about to get into, man.
Uh-huh.
And then, it kind of goes through his lyrics, man. I mean, this is a Lupe album. Lyrics are always going to be there. I mean, that's going to be his hallmark on any track. Basically just giving you the whole audio dope angle on there, because he's making that dope stuff. So I love this track, man.
No doubt, man. I mean, I thought the same thing, mirroring your thoughts, man. Great way to start the album. Upbeat, heavy bass loop. Lupe spits well, and like you said, the cadence he was going back and forth was kind of setting you up what you're getting yourself into, so to speak, on the album. So, it ushers the album in very well. It was very good. All right, so it leads into track 2, NGL. I don't know what that stands for. I know it's an acronym.
Ends gonna lose.
Okay, all right, cool. That's cool. Featuring Ty Dolla $ign. Okay, dope track. Okay, the way this song starts off, I'm a big Ty Dolla $ign stan almost. I like the dude's work, his story, whatever. So
Yeah.
having him on it was definitely very good. Beat was a little bit upbeat, had like a dreamy feel to it. The message of the track is what stands out to me, though. I thought it made the track. Lupe sounded like this track meant a lot to him. Ty Dolla $ign's background vocals fits very well. The track spoke to me on how to live life. I mean, I always live life like find the things you're good at, do them. Find the things you're not good at, and don't do them.
Right.
Pretty much. And that's pretty much what the song, in my opinion, says. So,
Yeah, absolutely, man. The first thing that really catches my ear on this track is just that lush synth that's playing in the background. It just sounds like it just could fill up a whole room, which it really just caught my ear. Lupe was giving us more of that Trapper Lou flow, but, putting the medicine in the candy, which he does a lot throughout this album. Basically just pointing out kind of some of the things that the hip-hop community, I'll say, may influence or put out in the world that could have a negative ramification on it. And just kind of putting a magnifying glass on it, letting you know that, hey, if we continue down this path, it's not going to work, man. We got to switch it up at some point in time. So
Right.
I like that. I really appreciate the way that he made this palatable for people that may not listen to Lupe all the time, but stayed true to his message.
No doubt. Yeah.
And Ty Dolla killed it.
And Ty Dolla killed it. And
Yeah.
you know what you said, though? He kept the medicine and the candy. He does that towards the end of the album, too. I'm going to get into. And I think that's a great way of putting it. That's very good. I like that. All right, man. So track 3, Promise. What'd you think?
Man, Promise, it seems like Lupe was poking fun at the current style of rap a little bit. With it, he comes through with just really, really simple bars. I mean, that hook is just promise, I promise, I promise, I promise. Really repetitive. It almost sounds like a Future flow, something like that. Like if Future was singing this hook, man, it would probably be a big song.
Yeah, it would be. Right.
And even when I listen to the track, when I listen to Lupe's verses, it sounds like he may have even freestyled this song. But I mean, he came with real simple bars by Lupe's standard. I mean, by anybody else's standard, he would be spitting. But by Lupe's standard, they were pretty simple and, kept coming with the repetitive lines. With it, I love the menacing sound of the track, and I felt like he captured the aura. It was a good song, but there's not a whole lot there.
Okay. I mean, for me, man, it starts off, I always want to listen to music. I kind of, some people have an art to where they make music. It kind of puts you in a different state. Like you're thinking of like a movie almost. And when I heard this song, it sounded like a Kung Fu fighting movie. Like I felt like I could see a Kung Fu movie playing and this song playing with it.
Yeah.
The violin pulls me in. I'm a sucker for a good violin. It keeps me engaged in the track. Lupe's delivery is on point on this one. Kind of a laid back flow. And like when you say freestyling, I could see that maybe he could have freestyled certain parts of this song. Basically talks about how real he keeps it. I mean, basically about how real of a guy he is. He did the hook. on this one, which I don't think some artists can get away with putting their own voice on the hook and then rapping as well, and you not getting sick of their voice. He pulls that off very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see this song in a kung fu movie. I just kept saying it, and I liked it. I really, I love the track.
You know what? To that same point, like that beat just sounds like it's menacing, like it's just
yeah.
creeping through somewhere,
yes, exactly.
like on a ninja stealth mission or something
exactly.
like that.
That's exactly what it put me in. That's exactly what it put me in. Was that it was like kind of like a ninja or some kind of kung fu movie, and hearing them bars come through, I can imagine watching a kung fu movie and having that song come on. It probably made me like the movie more because that track was on it.
Absolutely.
You know. All right, man. So, Made in America. Made in the USA, featuring Bianca, sings. The message on this one was kind of deep to me. In my opinion, it spoke on how the country is basically placed on a pedestal, but it's not as good as we elevate it in his opinion.
Right.
He goes through where, things originate from drugs to gang origins to clothes. The beat is upbeat and the flow fits. The singer, is kind of weak to me. I thought she was kind of a weak spot on this one. She didn't really just stand out as much as she could. I think when you putting, he put her name on there featuring as, I think she should have shined a little bit more. But, decent track. That was okay.
With it, man, as far as the verses go, man, I felt like this was prime Lou. He was giving us, just a real powerful track, speaking on the ills of our country, whether it be violence, drugs, racism, classism, gangs, weapons, all that stuff that, we hold up in a sense.
Yeah.
But it really is holding us back. But what I really thought was dope about it was he was pointing out all the ills of society and, how different things came from different areas, but how all of it coming from different parts of the country kind of brings us all closer, how we're more alike than we are different.
Right.
Everything that's made in the USA.
Right.
And how everything just kind of spreads out across cultures and everything like that. So I thought it was a real dope track.
Okay, that's what's up, man. All right, so leads into track 5, Jump, featuring Jizzle. What'd you think?
Man, the sample loops on this track, it just draws you in immediately. It's a sample of Don't Kill Me on this one. I think it's Gigi D'Agostino.
Hey, that's good, man.
Yeah, I tried it, man. I think it's a like late 90s house or electronic song, but the sample is dope. Like, I love the way it fills the room. Lupe is telling this hilarious story of a drug dealer kind of holding him up, and they're holding him up not to rob him, but because they want him to ghostwrite for him, so that way they can go from a trapper to a rapper.
Yeah.
And then they just go on this hilarious story where they end up in space, and then he ends up finding out that the robber, who is Jizzle, I'm gonna go with Jizzle for the name. Jizzle actually could rap already, and they're up in space. He's telling her like, hey, you don't need me, man, but we got to get out of here. She's trying to stay up on the spaceship, man. So I thought it was a hilarious song. A lot of fun. Flows were on point, man. It was a good song. It was dope.
Man, I definitely mirror your thoughts, man. I had written down Lupe. I'm in love with this Lupe rapping on here. He from his storytelling. The track is just elite, in my opinion, man. From the storytelling to the way he paints a picture, you're literally following it as if it was a story. You're following everything. I'm painting a picture in my mind of what he's saying. The beat seems kind of throwbackish. Kind of remind me of Big Sean and Nicki Minaj's song. Kind of had that same cadence at times. At point, it's a family-friendly show, so I can't get into that. You look that up. Definitely, featuring Jizzle, who was kind of doing the chorus, and then at the end, like you said, he didn't even know that he could rap, and he rapped. He's like, man, you can rap the whole time. And I thought that was very funny. But Lupe comes back, and points on how he didn't know the artist, could rap, and they kind of go back and forth a little bit, and they're in outer space, and you just gotta listen to the song. It's a story. It's almost like a movie within anything. Yeah. It's pretty dope to me, man. So I love this track at all. I definitely thought this track was very dope. All right, man. So leads into City of the Year featuring Rondo number 9. Well, it says Rondo, but we know it's Rondo number 9.
Yep.
Man, this one, man, he's putting on for his city, Chicago. Lupe, does the hook and pulls it off very well. Beat comes through, kind of like a video game influence to me, with a heavy bass drop and some infectious drums that really pulled me in as well.
Yeah.
The feature, he comes in and basically incites violence. In my opinion, he comes in, he's just talking. And if this song is played in the club, get to a wall and clench your fist, like and just get ready. Just get ready for anything that can happen, because that part of the song, it just seems like violent to me. I just have written down just violent. So get to a wall and keep your head on a swivel and just get ready for anything to happen.
Yeah, man. Again, man, Lupe, he was going in. I felt like this beat was great. The beat selection on this album up to this point has been magnificent.
Yes,
like it's been superb up to this point. And even on further into the album, but we'll get into that. But with it, man, he had some really crisp trap drums, man, and got a real spaced out vibe from the keys. So that, drew me in right away. Lupe was talking about coming up in Chicago and, kind of the Chicago gang culture. And, the putting a spotlight on the violence that's in Chicago, trying to raise awareness there. Rondo number 9, in my opinion, he doesn't add too much to this track, but I thought that was dope of Lupe to reach out to, one of at the time, an up and coming drill rapper, and, try to give him a bit of a push, so that way hopefully he could break out of the things that he may have been doing in the streets, right. and have a better opportunity there. So I thought that was great that Lupe gave him the look. This is actually the second song that they had done together, or that they had released together. So I thought that was good, even though Rondo wasn't really necessary on this track.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So leads in the track 7, High interlude featuring Simon Says. What'd you think,
man? Like with it, this is just Lou being arrogant, man. Like,
what I'm
saying? He's not playing fair at this point.
No.
I mean, how do you have a song that's supposed to be an interlude and you go in and you body it like this? I mean, first of all, the way that the hook kind of comes on there, man, from Simon Says, I love the pitched up effect on there, man. It really just draws you in. He's not playing fair. Like, there's a point in the hook where you think that it should be over, and it goes even further, makes you wait even longer for the verse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's just sitting there. He's just teasing you, making you wait for the verse. With it was just so dynamic, man. Lupe goes in there, man. He's just playing with his words, just toying with the listener, man. He keeps you on your toes the whole way through. Like, it's just not fair at this point.
Right. I mean, I had it written down, man. It's a 4-minute interlude. I mean, with a question mark. I had it written down. Another video game influenced beat, in my opinion. Very dope. Lupe rides the beat, so excellent. Once again, I love Lupe in his pocket. His elite rhyme skills shine on this one. The chorus is like high pitch, which kind of like it makes the background vocals stand out more. And I thought the background vocals were very dope due to that. And I love how the beat would just speed up and kept speeding up, and then it would come to a stop, and then Lupe would come in with his bars. Yeah. And to the point where we'll go to the chorus again, high pitch, beat, speed up, Lupe coming with his bars again. I thought that was very dope. Kind of like mini transitions on the song. Yeah. But yeah, man, like you said, just toying with it, man. It's an interlude and for 4 minutes, and Lupe just gives you just bars.
Bars, man. Just not playing fair.
No, exactly. All right, man. So it goes into track 8, Tranquilo, featuring Rick Ross and Big Crit. All right, so it's a heavy hitter song. We knew everybody was gonna come with their best offering. I gotta think that Crit and Ross had a private phone call before this song and said, you know what, we got to bring it. We know this dude will have us on this song. We got to definitely dig in and give some good offerings. I definitely thought they did, man. This track reminds me why Lupe is held in such high regard, man, in my opinion. Why rappers, they don't really want it with him. Like any rapper, right. I'm a Joe Budden fan, and I remember he was kind of prodding at Lupe, and then he scaled it all the way back and said, I was just playing. No disrespect. And I hold, Lupe in high regard as well with that. Kept it consistent, man. Ross came through very smooth. I've been a Ross fan, and I don't say anybody can hate on Ross. He definitely can rap. Yeah. And then Crit came in and just did exactly the same thing, man. Just came in, gave a very good offering. I think all three of them, after they got done with it, can listen to this song and know they got something big on their hands. Whether or not it'll pop, I don't know. But it definitely is something that was, I think was very big. Once again, the infectious violin just pulls me in, man. And the coda on Lupe's voice in the chorus fits the song very well. Once again, Lupe did the hook. They didn't really have anybody doing that, and they had just 3 good lyricists on there, man. I thought it was a dope track.
Yeah. For me on this track, it really showed, which I'm a Lupe stan, admittedly, but it really showed that, he can kind of hold his own with anybody. Yes. Like, it doesn't matter the format of the song, whatever the subject matter is going to be, whatever type of beat you want to bring to him, like, he can do his thing on anything. It just sounds so effortless. With it on this song, I felt like he was trying to stick to the Drogas theme, and he was talking about, tranquilos, and moving happiness by the kilo, you know what I'm saying, moving peace and tranquility by the kilo, instead of putting value in drugs or material possessions, instead trying to focus on health, knowledge, growth, and positivity, to keep him on a life high. Rick Ross and Crit both came through and killed it. Again, like I said, it's like Lupe can really make it work with all walks of life as far as hip-hop goes, and even venturing out into other genres. Like, his style's just effortless, man. He just glides across these tracks. And I thought it was real dope that he actually got Ross and Crit to, stick to the theme of the song as well, which I wondered how Ross would do. And I know Ross is a dope rapper, but I wonder how he would do, having to stick to a topic track with Lupe. And, what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe Lupe was just letting up on him a little bit, but Rick Ross came through and he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Held his own. Crit comes through, takes out the third verse, man, and Crit's going to do his thing every time. Everybody came with great offerings. I thought it was dope, man. Okay. I thought it was dope.
Well, no doubt, man. All right, so leads into track 9, Kill, featuring Ty Dolla $ign and Victoria Monet. What'd you think?
All right. First thing for me that really stands out is, you've got somebody beatboxing for the bass line on there. And I thought it was real dope how at the beginning of the track, the instrumentation is so stripped back that you can hear that it's somebody beatboxing. And then as the beat builds up, it really just sounds like there's an instrument playing when really that beatbox is still carrying on. Whoever's doing the bass line was still beatboxing it. And I thought that was genius. I love the way it faded to the back and came to the front. Lou and Ty Dolla $ign, they have great chemistry.
They do.
I really think they have great chemistry when they're working together. And I felt like Victoria Monet, I feel like she came through and she broke up, I don't want to say the monotony of the song, but she broke it up to kind of refresh the listener and bring them back into the song. What I really loved about this track too was how he transitioned it. It was about some guys maybe being in the gentleman's club and trying to have a good time, and then she comes on there and she's talking about from the dancer's perspective, how she might feel about it. And even though she's in here on a Saturday trying to get this money, right, she's trying to get this money to get her 10% for the ties on Sunday. And then I loved how this went from a trap beat to a gospel song.
Yes, it did.
Like, how do you do that? How do you do that?
It flowed well too.
You know what I'm saying? And it came through perfectly. Like it made perfect sense. And wow, just come on. It's not fair.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I had same thing, man. It's 7 minutes long. Yeah, I don't know if you realized that when he was playing, but it starts off with Ty Dolla $ign singing, almost like he's featuring Ty. Like get your stuff off. And Lupe didn't come into the 2 minute 45-second mark.
Right.
So he didn't really give a lot of bars on that. So almost like I said, he let Ty rock, man. Which is okay with me because I'm a big Ty Dolla $ign fan once again. So Lupe comes in, gives a little bit of gives about 16 bars. Then it features, Victoria Monet, man. She kind of just he lets her rock. Like, just go ahead, get your stuff off. And she rocks it. She bodies her part. Very smooth, very sexy offering, and it fit the song very well. I mean, overall, it's a very smooth track. Ends with 2 funny conversations going on at the same time. Yeah. One from a stripper and one from 2 guys talking, about their next move for the night. Yeah. And then it goes into a choir. And then, so I didn't really get why, but it just flowed, like you said, it flowed well together, and very good use of the time. 7 minutes, a 7-minute song, as long as it is, you'll have fun listening to it. Just trust me,
man. There was just so many layers to this song. I mean, you really went from an R&B smooth song to a trap vibe on it to having a female lead on here, and then you took it to an all-out gospel song. Yes, yeah. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, come on, my man's not playing fair.
All right, man. So leads into track 10, Law, featuring Simon Says. This one had a very dreamy beat with a heavy bass loop. Kind of reminds me of an organ playing, and like an old church organ almost that was playing in the background. Lupe, rides the beat well. Seems to be speaking to a woman, in my opinion. Lupe on the hook once again, with a voice coder, and he definitely pulls it off. Just a dope track, man.
Yeah. Now, with it, this is actually an older song that Lupe had kind of put out into the wild. It was previously titled Drizzy's Law, but he's since condensed it down to just Law, and it's supposed to stand for Love Always. Okay. So with that, I felt like Simon Says actually shined really bright on this song. On the hook, he really stands out, and it actually to me sounds like it was probably his song that Lupe got on, and then Lupe just decided to use it or put it out there. With it, the whole Law or the Drizzy's Law theme really fits. Is Lupe spitting about trying to keep a relationship together. Now for it, since I had heard it in the past, it wasn't really a big surprise for me. The track is cool, but it wasn't a standout on the album just because I heard it a few years ago.
Okay, no doubt. All right, man. So leads into track 11, Pick Up the Phone. Yeah. What you think?
All right. What I'm saying? Lupe's my man's. I'm not feeling this. I don't like the keys. I don't like the guitar. I didn't like the strings. I don't like Sebastian Lundberg on the feature. Yeah. I'm not feeling anything about this song.
Okay, no doubt. Hey, listen, I'm okay with it. Go get your pop money, Lupe. Yeah. Go get it, because that's all this is. The bars were there though.
Always.
That's the thing that kept me going. Was like I didn't really like you said, I didn't like the feature. I had to look him up who the heck he was, and I didn't really like the beat because it was very upbeatish, and I like more Lupe on the dreamy as far as just riding the beat. Even though it's hard to follow this song rap wise, he put bars in there that you really couldn't help but keep listening to, man.
Yeah.
Every time I got sick of the chorus, here comes Lupe with some epic bars again.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me going with it, man. It had, like I said, a poppy feel, and this is where I kind of went through in my first listen. Like this, at this point in the album, kind of started taking a nosedive because it went kind of popish, and this song started it. And but all in all, man, I thought it fit okay. I'm like, okay with it. Go get your pop money, Lupe. That's pretty much what it stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It sounded like he was recording this when maybe when Atlantic at that time may have been looking for a hit.
Yeah,
and they kept trying to throw him songs, much like how that B.O.B. song from a couple years ago was actually supposed to be Lupe's, but he passed on it. But yeah, it sounds like it was kind of a calculator, a contrived track that somebody put in front of him, and he did what he did on it and said do what you will with it.
Right. We don't know who Sebastian Lundberg is, but I'm sure he got some fans out there.
Yeah.
And they listen to this track and like, who's this Lupe Fiasco character? Hey man, that might bring a pretty big bag, man. I mean, it's a pop hit. I think I can hear it playing. I think my daughters will probably like this.
I'm scorned a little bit by Lupe's pop hits though. Like I can always hear the ones that Atlantic was forcing on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got some real dope ones. I mean, Superstar, all those songs, all that stuff was dope.
Okay. So yeah, Superstar was dope. So track 12 leads into that, man. It's Not Design featuring Salim. It seems to be going for that pop money once again, in my opinion, man. Yeah. Bars are on point once again, and that's what saves the track. Lupe is in his bag, but the chorus makes me want this track to end every time. And I just got sick of the chorus. I did not like the chorus on this track at all. And then it would as soon as I got sick of the chorus, here comes Lupe rapping again. So once again, it's a poppy track, and for it to be right after the one that we just had before the album, I don't know if it fits on the album. I just didn't know. I just I don't know about this one. It sounds to me like almost like he's fighting with Atlantic, like you said once again. Like he put these songs on here on purpose. Like he knows, like, okay, these are not what you're gonna like, but I'm gonna throw them on there because the label's making me. So that's what I thought about it, man.
Yeah, now, surprisingly, man, I actually love this track.
Really?
Yeah, man, I love the up-tempo dance vibe on this track. It reminds me of, like, Jamiroquai. And, like, as soon as I hear it, I just want to dance. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just want to go. Uh-huh. But Lupe's flow on this track, it actually reminds me of a song that he did on his Friend of the People mixtape titled, what was it? Love, Life, and Death in San Francisco.
Okay.
That he did over Love Supreme, which, the flow of the story on that track was very similar to what this one was. And, it really made that pop in my head when I heard this. Lupe just, giving us a song, trying to navigate love, all that good stuff. We haven't had enough time with it yet for me to really dig in on all the lyrics, so I don't want to go too far in on what he's saying. But overall, sonically, it is appealing to my ears.
Okay, no doubt, man. Hey, I can't knock you for that. All right, man. So leads into track 13, Wild Cherry featuring Jake Torrey. What you think?
Man, for Wild Child, I can appreciate the live sound and instrumentation used on this track, but it sounds like too much of a generic pop record for me. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the song was, again, meant for someone else. Really just wasn't digging it. When I actually heard this song as being like kind of the lead single leading up to this album, I was very unsure about what this album was going to be. Now, with it, the whole album, hearing it, I had a different opinion, but Wild Child, I was a little scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, very upbeat track once again. Once again, Lupe delivers just epic bars, man. Like, I hate the chorus on this one as well. But I'm gonna point out one bar he put out here, man. He said, "Life's a beach with no Bahamas. I just want to wear pajamas. Whole life I've been fighting off piranhas with katanas inside my hand." Like, I'm like, who comes up with that, man?
Right.
Like, that's crazy right there to me, man. Like those bars were just crazy. It definitely gave me a stank face. Listening to that, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I see where you're going with this, Lupe. Once again, in that pop bag, man. I think it was put on here on purpose almost. Like the bars don't really fit the beat almost, but they're still there, man. And that's all I really had on this one, man. I mean, kind of like he started singing on this one, which was dope, though. Kind of came like his West African background comes out on, when he was singing it, almost to the point where I might want him to sing that versus this other guy, this Jake Torrey. He sounded bad, in my opinion. I'd rather have Lupe on the hook versus the Jake Torrey guy.
You know, that might have made that better.
It might have been better.
Yeah.
I think Jake Torrey brought it down, man. He just definitely brought it down. But yeah, that's what I thought about. I thought it was a pretty decent track. Just get Jake Torrey all the way out of here.
I can dig it.
All right, so leads into track 14, last track on the album. More Than My Heart featuring RXMN and Salim. All right, man. So if you don't love your mom, you're not gonna love this song. You know, this song makes you want. I almost called my mom and listen to this track for real. Like he broke it down to what everything, you know, as far as, you know, I love my mama. Like I love my mom more than anything else. And he kind of broke it down to everything. Lupe once again just rapping, giving just bars on this one. And like I said, I did call my mom, man. When he goes into how some mamas aren't here, you know, and he sings, she is like she was, even though your mother might have passed away, she still lives in you.
Yeah.
Like like the Thug Dove can drop. Like,
yeah.
It almost came on that, man. I thought it was very dope that he did that. I thought it was an excellent way to end the album, man, in my opinion. Definitely, I love people giving love to moms, man, for real.
Yeah, with it, man, I love the way that the keys came in on this track. And, you know, like you said, man, who doesn't love a good song about your mama?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Lou had great awareness on this track where, you know, he's bringing up some serious situations that some people may run into with, you know, their parents or their mother, but also keeping it lighthearted. I thought it was hilarious when he, like, you know, cuts the beat off, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Turn this off. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was pretty funny. And, you know, just a great track to close out the album. You know, it was serious but lighthearted at the same time. Lupe's always going to give you bars. Like, I mean, that's who he is. Right. And, yeah, man, I love this track.
No doubt, man. No doubt. All right, man. So, all in all, what'd you think?
All right. So, now with it going into this album, I already understood what this album was going to be. You know, kind of following Lupe along this journey to getting this album out and, you know, the next two that are supposed to be coming soon. I understood that Drogas Light was going to be, I don't want to say scaled back, but it was going to be maybe older material that didn't work on any of his previous albums. I want to say that most of this material comes somewhere from between the Great American Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap album, and Tetsuo and Youth. Okay. I want to say that a lot of these songs came somewhere in between there, and he's got a little bit of newer stuff on here as well. And I think that that's really evident when we get into those real big, heavy pop songs at the end of this album.
Yeah.
You know, they sound like songs that would have been on Lasers, which, you know, I actually don't hate Lasers. It's my least favorite Lupe album, but I didn't think it was a bad album. The bars are always there. It was just the sound of it sounded so generic, like he was trying to appeal to a broader audience when he really didn't need to. He just needed to do what he does and let the people come to him. Like I feel like that's Lupe at his best. And even like kind of watching what he's been saying about it, I feel like he wasn't very confident in this album, or, you know, he wasn't very confident on how this album would be received. He actually kind of prefaced the album by saying it was a refined version of Lasers, which I actually don't buy. Like, I don't think that that's the case. I do think that, you know, those last couple of songs, with, you know, the exception of More Than My Heart, I feel like, you know, he just kind of threw those out there because you spent the budget. You might as well recoup something from it. I don't blame you. But, you know, hey, man, there's no reason to be critical of this album. There is great work on this album. With it, Lupe himself actually gave this album a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
You know, he admitted that he didn't like the bars on Promise. He thought that they were butt cheeks. But I actually felt like that was on purpose. I felt like he was trying to mimic a style that's out there and, you know, just kind of throw his stamp on it a little bit. So with it, man, overall, I don't think that this is an album that Lupe's got to try to hide from or that, you know, he shouldn't be proud of. It's a great body of work. He stayed true to himself on here. I feel like this album was a solid at an 83. Would have been higher if we didn't have to go through Wild Child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that number right there? You see that number written right there?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You're in my bag right here, man. But let me get into my review of it, man. All in all, man, Drogas Light gave me what I wanted in a hip-hop project. You know, towards the end of the project, I didn't like the pop direction it was going in after the first playthrough. But for some reason, on my second playthrough, I felt it fit. You know, I was cleaning up, and maybe, you know, that's why I felt differently on the second playthrough. The first one, I was actually sitting at my desk doing some work. And that might have been the reason why I was in a different mindset. I don't know. Lupe reminds me of myself if I could rap, honestly, man. From the nerdy bars to the video game influences to the kung fu to the love for his mom. It just really just fits how most normal dudes are, man. Just nerds, how we are, what we embody at GamesMusicLyfe. It's like he embodies that as well.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoyed the project, and even though I didn't agree with the production towards the end of the last portion of the album, his bars saved every single track. I didn't like some of that poppy stuff, but I loved him rapping. He was just rapping his
Rapping
butt
his
off,
face
man.
off,
Like,
yeah.
for real, he was just giving us what we wanted. I do think though that this, this being one of the one of the third of the trilogy that's going to be, his this whole project that he's doing. Once all of them are done, I think we'll appreciate this one more. Once it's all completed. So I definitely think. Now I came into this not being, not the Lupe stan that you and Jay are.
Yeah.
So I kind of came in blind with all this. So this is all new to me. And hearing it was refreshing, considering all the BS that we listen to musically that comes out now, hip hop wise. I was very, very much blown away by it, man, and I appreciated it a lot. But yeah, so just like I showed you, 84.
Oh yeah, man.
So we're definitely on point with that, man. But I think Lupe, man, shouldn't be so critical of himself. And like we were talking about before, man, nobody's more critical of self than self. So you're gonna beat yourself up all the time. And definitely, if you just put the music out like you did, and it definitely, I think, will be appreciated, man.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like this is an album to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I also kind of felt about this album, I felt like for people who maybe didn't listen to Lupe, as religiously, because I mean, Lupe's got his stands out here. Like, there's an army of folks that just ride for Lupe. I might be a general in this army. You know what I'm saying? I ride for Lupe.
You got
you know
a
what I'm
couple
saying?
stands.
Dude is nice, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple badges. You know what I'm saying? I've been following since the pre-release of Food and Liquor, man. But I feel like for folks that maybe aren't as well versed in what Lupe does, this is actually a great starting point.
Absolutely.
He gives you a little bit of everything, and stylistically, all the different genres or styles that he can touch or that he can go off on. And I mean, if nothing else, man, the bars are there always. He doesn't slack a minute on these
if
bars.
You're a fan of somebody that can rap, you're gonna love this album.
Absolutely,
you're gonna
man.
love him, man. He could it just seemed like you said, it seemed effortless, man. Like he just do it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Drogas and Skulls now, though.
Yeah.
Like I know it's gonna be snappage.
Do you think he's gonna do? It probably won't be this year, will it?
He says it's going to be this year because he's trying to get away from the traditional album format.
Okay.
So I'm hoping maybe he'll just start, releasing little bodies of work, little EPs here and there, rather than having to stick to a full album. But I mean, if Drogas Light was just to kind of get that out of the way to make room for, Drogas and Skulls, man, those albums are going to be crazy. I mean, you already know, Tetsuo and Youth might have been my only 100% project. So far, but I think that it's a scary time for you rappers.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely putting cats on warning.
Yeah,
but no doubt, man. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Do we rate it too high? Do we rate it too low? What did you think?
Yes.
Definitely love to hear everybody's feedback on it. And just like we did last week, I mean, with Big Sean, people have been, everyone just sending in their comments and love and just feedback in it. If you don't think we're good, you do think we're good. We love the feedback either way. Man. Either way, we appreciate it. So, man, as always, this is Nadir.
This is Kev.
2/3 of GamesMusicLyfe. Drink more water, people.
Peace.
Peace.